Your spreadsheet full of sacrifices doesn't matter. Loyalty isn't a contract, it's a feeling. Seneca once warned, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And yet, modern men suffer believing shall stay if I just give more. That's fantasy. Women don't stay for accolades, they stay for polarity, presence, leadership. They stay for the energy you project when words and gifts are nowhere near enough. A man who remains calm under pressure becomes emotionally magnetic. They feel safe, not suffocated. This isn't gothic romance, it's ancient wisdom. Control yourself. Not her response, and you become memorable, not for your actions, but for the emotional atmosphere you create. Think about it. Have you ever poured your attention into something that faded in value? Human behavioral patterns show that scarcity creates value. When you chase someone emotionally distant, you're handing over emotional authority. Overgiving signals desperation, not devotion. It says, "I am not whole without you," instead of "I am enough by myself." Ladies aren't trophies to be collected. They're emotional ecosystems. You don't get loyalty by giving more, you get it by being difficult to take for granted. Stop confusing service with worth. Understand this boundary value. Imagine someone who never reacts, not out of indifference, but grounded composure. That's more intoxicating than any gift. A Stoic man doesn't spike with praise or deflate with slight. He stands in his own center. When a woman senses that steadiness, she leans in. Calm becomes seductive. Presence feels powerful. You don't have to overwhelm her with gestures. You just need to be someone she can emotionally land into, and that kind of reliability is rarer than diamonds. A partner doesn't actively push you away. You step back from yourself, though. When you tolerate disrespect or chaos, you're the architect of your emotional decline, not her. Stoicism isn't about coldness, it's about clarity. You walk through life with eyes wide open. You demand respect not out of ego, but out of self-respect. Let me tell you, a woman becomes loyal, not because you earned her affection, but because you earned hers through boundaries. Pull back when you're draining, not when she notices. Stop being overly available. Let her feel your absence not with emotion, but with integrity. Pulling back when you're emotionally empty says, "I value myself more than validation." That triggers her subconscious, not punishment. Stop proving, begin embodying. Tell no one what you're doing, show them. Your value isn't what you post, it's what you live. Stop justifying your dominance. Start being a man she wants emotionally, not needs. Allow your silence to speak louder than words. Words can persuade. Silence compels. When you remove yourself from the noise of performance, your character draws attention. You communicate strength not by forcing contact, but by choosing when to engage. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This isn't a challenge to her, it's a challenge to you. When you refuse to chase, to justify, to rescue, when you stand firmly within your own principles, you become the man she can stay for. Not because you changed her mind, but because you held your own. You're not a frozen iceberg. You're a mountain, solid, unmoved, enduring. Yet so many men mistake emotional restraint for emotional absence. They say, "I didn't react, so I'm superior." That's arrogance. What I'm talking about is presence with feeling, not indifference, not aloofness. Calm, not distant, confident. You acknowledge her feeling without losing yourself. That's authority. She doesn't walk away in frustration. She leans in. Curious, will he hold the center again? Why it works? People don't want to win arguments. They want emotional containment. When your presence is a harbor in the storm, respect becomes magnetic. There are unwritten emotional laws that guide human connection. Most men break them without knowing. Here's the truth. You can't obsessively signal your value because then it's not valuable. Emotional scarcity fosters desire. Respect is given when you don't chase validation. When she feels safe, not smothered, that's emotional polarity working. She notices you not needing her in order to feel whole. That doesn't push her away, it draws her toward you. How do you actually hold your ground firmly without bitterness? If she doubts your focus or priorities when you don't reply immediately, That's her issue, not yours. Don't rationalize why you're busy or late. Say, I couldn't answer, thank you for understanding. Done. Every time you chase, you whittle down your value. Instead, hold I won't chase attention. If you want to reconnect, let me know. These are not punitive. They are profoundly respectful because you tell her, not with words, but by showing I respect my life. I'm built from the inside out. Everything we're building here, stability, boundaries, presence, does one thing: it makes your inner world immune to emotional drama. When she storms, when she withdraws, when she demands, you don't shrink. You don't inflate, you center. That mirroring of consistency wears like armor because she sees she can lean on you emotionally. Even on your worst days, some men think if I save her from her pain, she'll stay. But when you become her rescuer, her hope, her hero, you enter a liability because she owes you. And when she starts resenting what you've done for her, the relationship sours. Instead, think of Stoic courage. Act not for applause, but out of clarity. Her loyalty doesn't grow through rescue. It grows through seeing strength in you. Whether you intervene or not, your integrity should remain constant. Meet Mark, emotionally trained, generous. Devoted, she pulled away. Mark escalated gifts, texts, plans. She gave less. He gave more. Until finally he paused. He stepped away from overgiving. He reclaimed schedule. He went quiet but not bitter. 2 weeks later, she came back, not impressed by the gifts, not begging for the explanation, but curious where he'd gone. He didn't treat her poorly. He just didn't make himself too available. The result? Her attention returned not because she saw the world underneath his words. People who constantly give often see themselves as builders, trying to patch perceived gaps in one another's lives. That's love, but it lacks Stoic power. Stoic men realize they are matches, self-contained flames. They match another's energy, not build or rescue it. When things fall apart, your instinct shifts from panic to curiosity. Why are we diverging? Is this honoring my values? If not, that's feedback, not crisis. You adapt. Or you exit, but either way you don't waver from your axis. A Stoic edge life isn't emotional poverty. It's emotional abundance within a frame of personal authority. You hold yourself to uncompromising standards she feels, not hears. When you combine core, result, relative sparseness, emotional space becomes rich again, elevated self-respect. Demand arises through absence, calm authority. She leans in to reconnect. You don't make her like you again, you invite her to.